Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered, why does my face suddenly look so tired? Not because you feel tired, not because you've stopped taking care of yourself, but because your skin no longer reflects how energetic you still feel inside. Perhaps those small brown spots seem darker than they used to. Maybe your complexion has gradually become dull or uneven, or perhaps your skin always feels dry, no matter how much moisturizer you apply. If you've had any of those thoughts, you're certainly not alone. One of the most common things I hear from older adults is this: I don't mind looking my age. I just don't want my skin to make me look older than I feel. I think that's a feeling many of us can understand. Most people aren't trying to look 30 again. They're simply hoping to look healthy, to look refreshed, to recognize the person smiling back at them in the mirror. What if I told you that some of the most helpful ingredients for mature skin aren't found in expensive skincare products? They're sitting in your local grocery store. If you stay with me until the end of today's video, you'll learn how to make 3 gentle milk-based face masks using simple, everyday ingredients that many people already have at home. Each recipe is designed to address a different concern that often becomes more noticeable as we grow older, from uneven skin tone and dryness to skin that no longer looks as bright or refreshed as it once did. And before we finish, I'll also share one bonus recipe using an ingredient that many people already enjoy as a healthy drink, but rarely think to use as part of a gentle skincare routine. The best part? When used consistently alongside healthy daily habits, these simple recipes may help your skin feel softer, look brighter, and appear healthier over time. If you enjoy practical, evidence-informed wellness tips created especially for older adults, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue sharing simple ideas that promote healthy aging, independence, and confidence at every stage of life. Before we prepare our first mask, let's take just a few minutes to understand why our skin changes as we grow older. Once you understand what's happening beneath the surface, the recipes I'll share today will make much more sense. One of the biggest changes is that our skin renews itself much more slowly than it did when we were younger. When we're young, fresh skin cells replace older ones on a regular cycle. As we move into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, that natural renewal process gradually slows down. Old skin cells remain on the surface longer. Years of sun exposure become more visible. The skin produces less of its natural oils, and it also loses some of its ability to hold onto moisture. That's why mature skin often feels drier, looks less radiant, and may develop uneven pigmentation over time. Many people assume the answer is simply buying more expensive skincare products, but that's not always the case. In fact, mature skin often responds better to gentle, consistent care than to aggressive treatments. That's where today's recipes begin. Every mask we'll make uses the same simple foundation: milk. For generations, milk has been included in gentle home skincare because it's naturally mild and contains nutrients that help support the skin's moisture barrier. It also contains a small amount of naturally occurring lactic acid, which helps loosen old surface skin cells without the intensity of stronger exfoliating treatments. For mature skin, that gentle approach is often exactly what's needed. Milk on its own can leave the skin feeling soft and refreshed. But what makes today's recipes especially interesting is what happens when it's paired with a few ordinary grocery ingredients that each support the skin in a different way. Throughout today's video, I'll show you exactly how to prepare each milk-based mask, who it's best suited for, how often to use it, and a few common mistakes you'll want to avoid. By the end, you'll be able to choose the one that best fits your own skin instead of relying on guesswork. If your biggest concern is age spots, uneven skin tone, or a complexion that no longer looks as bright as it once did, this is the mask I'd suggest trying first. The main ingredient is the humble potato. It may seem surprising that something so ordinary has been used in home skincare for generations, Most of us only think of potatoes as something to cook for dinner, but sometimes the simplest ingredients deserve a closer look. Potatoes naturally contain vitamin C, an antioxidant that helps protect the skin from everyday environmental stress. They also contain naturally occurring plant compounds that have long been associated with helping the skin appear brighter and more refreshed. Now, it's important to be realistic. This mask won't remove age spots overnight, and it isn't a replacement for professional treatments if you have concerns about your skin. But when used regularly, as part of a gentle skincare routine, many people find that their complexion gradually looks smoother, healthier, and more even. Another reason potatoes work well for mature skin is their naturally high water content. As we grow older, our skin loses moisture much more easily than it once did. Even with a good moisturizer, it can begin to feel dry only a few hours later. Fresh potato provides a naturally cooling sensation that many people enjoy, especially after a warm day outside. I remember speaking with a retired woman in her early 70s who told me, "I've learned to accept my wrinkles, but every time I looked in the mirror, my eyes went straight to the dark spots on my cheeks." She wasn't looking for dramatic cosmetic procedures. She simply wanted healthier looking skin. She began using this simple potato and milk mask a few evenings each week while continuing the rest of her normal skincare routine. After about 3 months, she noticed something encouraging. Her overall complexion looked brighter. Her skin felt softer. And instead of immediately noticing the uneven color of her skin, she noticed that her face looked fresher. Sometimes that's the kind of change that matters most, not perfection, just feeling more comfortable in your own skin. Here's how to prepare the mask. Wash one medium-sized potato thoroughly and grate it finely until you have both the pulp and the natural juice. Place it into a small bowl and add a small amount of cold milk. Stir gently until the mixture becomes smooth and easy to spread. If it feels a little thick, simply add another splash of milk. Apply a thin layer over clean skin and leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then rinse gently with lukewarm water before applying your regular moisturizer. Using this mask 2 or 3 times a week is usually enough. More frequent use isn't necessarily better. Healthy skin responds best to routines that are gentle and easy to maintain. One small tip that many people appreciate is making the mask just before you plan to use it. Fresh potato contains more moisture than one that's been sitting out for several hours, making the mask feel more refreshing. And remember, if this is your first time trying any homemade skincare recipe, perform a simple patch test on the inside of your arm the day before applying it to your face. It's a small step that helps ensure your skin is comfortable with the ingredients. Now, while this first mask is a wonderful choice for uneven skin tone, many older adults tell me that dark spots aren't actually their biggest concern. Instead, they say something like this: "My skin feels fine until I've been outside for a while. Then it becomes warm, dry, and uncomfortable." If that sounds familiar, the next recipe may become your favorite because its main ingredient is made up of more than 90% water and has been valued for generations for the refreshing comfort it brings to tired skin. Now let's move on to the second recipe. Many older adults notice that their skin reacts differently than it did years ago. Perhaps you've been gardening for an hour, taken a relaxing walk through the neighborhood, or simply enjoyed an afternoon with your grandchildren at the park. Years ago, your skin recovered quickly. Today, even a short time outside may leave it feeling warm, tight, or dehydrated. That's because mature skin naturally becomes thinner over time and loses moisture more easily. Its protective barrier isn't quite as strong as it once was, making it more sensitive to heat, dry air, and years of accumulated sun exposure. When that happens, the goal isn't to overwhelm your skin with stronger products. Often, it simply needs gentle hydration and soothing care. That's where cucumber comes in. At first glance, cucumber doesn't seem particularly impressive. It's inexpensive, easy to find almost anywhere, and probably sitting in many refrigerators already. But there's a reason it has remained one of the world's most popular natural skincare ingredients for generations. More than 90% of a cucumber is water. That natural moisture gives it the wonderfully cool, refreshing feeling so many people enjoy when it's applied to tired skin. Cucumber also contains vitamin C, along with naturally occurring plant compounds that help support healthy-looking skin. While it won't reverse years of sun exposure, it can leave mature skin feeling calmer, fresher, and more comfortable after a long day outdoors. One retired gentleman once shared a story that made me smile. He loved working in his vegetable garden every morning. One day he told me, "I don't mind getting older. I just wish my face didn't feel so hot every time I spend time outside." He wasn't searching for an expensive skincare routine. He simply wanted something gentle that he could prepare at home. So he began using this cucumber and milk mask after gardening 2 or 3 times each week. Several weeks later, he laughed and said, "Now, after I come inside, I actually look forward to making it. It's one of the most relaxing parts of my afternoon." I think that's an important reminder. Sometimes skincare isn't only about appearance. Sometimes it's about comfort. When your skin feels comfortable, healthy, and well cared for, you naturally feel better too. Here's how to prepare the mask. Wash one fresh cucumber thoroughly. If the peel is clean, you can leave it on. Grate it finely or blend it until it becomes a smooth pulp, including the natural juice. Transfer it to a small bowl and stir in a little cold milk until everything is evenly combined. The mixture should spread easily without being watery. Apply a thin layer to clean skin and leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then rinse gently with lukewarm water and finish with your regular moisturizer. If you've spent time outdoors on a warm day, many people find this mask especially soothing. A simple tip can make it even more refreshing. Place the cucumber in the refrigerator for an hour before preparing the mask. The naturally cool temperature often feels wonderful on warm, tired skin. Just avoid freezing it. Extremely cold temperatures aren't necessary and may feel uncomfortable on delicate, mature skin. Now let's talk about the third mask. If I had to choose the skincare concern I hear about most often from older adults, it would probably be this. My skin always feels dry. Not just during the winter, not just after washing your face, but throughout the entire day. You apply moisturizer in the morning, yet by lunchtime your skin already feels tight again. If you've experienced that, you're certainly not alone. As we grow older, our skin naturally produces less oil than it once did. At the same time, the skin's protective barrier becomes less effective at holding onto moisture. Think of it this way. Imagine watering a healthy garden. If the soil is rich and healthy, it holds onto that water. But if the soil has become dry and cracked, much of the water quickly disappears. Mature skin behaves in a similar way. Sometimes the problem isn't simply adding moisture. It's helping the skin keep it. That's why the key ingredient in this mask is honey. Honey has been valued in skincare for centuries, and modern research helps explain why. One of its most interesting qualities is that it's a natural humectant. In simple terms, that means it attracts moisture and helps the skin retain it. Honey also contains naturally occurring antioxidants, amino acids, and other compounds that support the skin's natural moisture barrier. When it's combined with milk, the result is a gentle mask that many people find deeply comforting, especially if their skin often feels dry or tight. Skin that's well hydrated often appears smoother, healthier, and more radiant because dryness is no longer drawing attention to every fine line. Sometimes the goal isn't changing your face, it's helping your skin feel healthy again. I remember speaking with a retired teacher in her late 70s who laughed as she described her bathroom cabinet. She said, "I think I own more moisturizers than books. Every time one promised softer skin, I bought it." Yet, despite all those products, her skin still felt dry by the afternoon. Rather than adding another expensive cream, she simplified everything. She continued using her favorite moisturizer, but added this honey and milk mask a few evenings each week. About 2 months later, she told me, my skin finally feels comfortable again. She wasn't talking about dramatic cosmetic changes. She simply noticed that her skin no longer felt tight every time she smiled. And sometimes, comfort is exactly what healthy skincare should provide. Here's how to prepare the mask. Pour a small amount of cold milk into a clean bowl. Then add about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of pure honey. Stir until the honey dissolves completely and the mixture becomes smooth. Apply a thin layer to clean skin and leave it on for 10 to 15 minutes. Afterward, rinse gently with lukewarm water and finish with your regular moisturizer. Most people find that using this mask 2 or 3 times each week fits comfortably into their routine. If your skin is especially dry, continue moisturizing every day as you normally would. Think of this mask as supporting your routine, not replacing it. One small suggestion: choose pure honey whenever possible. Products that contain large amounts of added syrups or artificial flavorings won't provide the same properties. And if you have a known allergy to honey or bee products, it's best to skip this recipe altogether. So far, we've explored 3 simple milk-based masks that use ingredients many people already have at home. One for uneven skin tone, one for skin that feels warm after time outdoors, and one for persistent dryness. If you begin with just one of those, you're already giving your skin a wonderful foundation. Before we finish, I'd like to share one bonus recipe. I don't consider this one essential, and I certainly wouldn't recommend buying a special ingredient just for skincare. But if you already keep plain green tea powder or culinary grade matcha at home for drinking or cooking, this simple recipe can be a wonderful addition to your skincare routine. What makes green tea so interesting? The answer lies in its natural antioxidants. Every day, our skin is exposed to sunlight, air pollution, and other environmental stressors. Over time, these everyday exposures contribute to what scientists call oxidative stress, one of the factors associated with visible skin aging. You don't need to remember that scientific term. The important thing to know is that antioxidants help support your skin's natural defenses against those daily challenges. Green tea is especially rich in plant compounds called catechins. Researchers have studied catechins for many years because of their antioxidant properties, and that's one reason green tea has become such a popular ingredient in modern skincare products. Again, let's keep our expectations realistic. Green tea won't reverse aging, it won't erase wrinkles, and it won't dramatically change your skin overnight. But if you already enjoy green tea as part of a healthy lifestyle, using it occasionally as a gentle face mask can be another simple way to care for mature skin. I remember meeting a gentleman in his early 70s who enjoyed starting every morning with a cup of green tea. When he learned that the same ingredient could also be used in a homemade face mask, he laughed and said, "So my morning tea has another job?" He decided to try it once or twice a week. A few months later, he told me, "I can't say I look younger, but my skin looks healthier, and that's exactly what I was hoping for." I appreciated that answer because it reflects the attitude I hope everyone takes away from today's video. Healthy skincare isn't about chasing impossible expectations. It's about taking small, practical steps that help you feel good about yourself. Now let's prepare the bonus mask. Place about half a teaspoon of plain green tea powder into a small bowl. Add a small amount of cold milk and stir until the mixture becomes smooth. If you already have culinary grade matcha at home, you can use that as well. There's no need to buy a premium ceremonial matcha just for this recipe. Once the mixture is ready, apply a thin layer to clean skin. Leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes before rinsing gently with lukewarm water. Finish by applying your regular moisturizer. Because green tea powder isn't something every household keeps in the pantry, I think of this as an optional recipe rather than one everyone needs to make. The 3 masks we covered earlier are more than enough for most people. This is simply a nice addition if you already happen to have the ingredient. Now that you've seen all of today's recipes, let's answer some of the questions I hear most often. The first is probably the most common. Which mask should I choose? The answer is actually quite simple. Choose the one that best matches your biggest concern right now. If uneven skin tone or age spots bother you the most, start with the potato mask. If your skin often feels warm or uncomfortable after spending time outdoors, choose the cucumber mask. If dryness is your biggest challenge, the honey mask is probably the best place to begin. And if you already keep green tea powder at home, the bonus mask can be a nice addition to your routine. You don't need to use all of them. In fact, I don't recommend it. Simple routines are usually the easiest to maintain, and consistency is far more important than variety. Another question I hear often is, can I switch between different masks? Absolutely. Your skin's needs may change throughout the year. During colder months, you may find yourself using the honey mask more often because your skin feels drier. In the summer, the cucumber mask may become your favorite after spending time outdoors. Some people enjoy alternating between 2 masks during the week. The important thing is to pay attention to how your own skin feels rather than following a complicated schedule. There's no perfect routine that works for everyone. Many viewers also ask, should I use these masks in the morning or in the evening? Either is perfectly fine. Personally, I think evenings are often the most relaxing. Your skin has already been exposed to the day's environment, and afterward, you can simply apply your moisturizer and allow your skin to rest overnight. If you prefer using a mask during the day, that's perfectly fine as well. Just remember to apply sunscreen if you'll be spending time outside afterward. That brings us to another important reminder. These masks are designed to support healthy skin. They do not replace sunscreen. Daily sun protection remains one of the best habits for helping reduce additional sun-related skin damage over time. Even the gentlest skincare routine benefits from protecting the skin you're working so hard to care for. Another common question is, how long before I notice a difference? The honest answer is that everyone's skin is different. Some people notice their skin feels softer after the very first use. Others begin seeing gradual improvements in how bright or smooth their skin looks after several weeks of regular care. Try not to judge your results after only 1 or 2 applications. Healthy skin develops through steady habits, not overnight transformations. One final question. Can I prepare several masks at once and keep them in the refrigerator? Because these recipes contain fresh ingredients and milk, I don't recommend storing them. They're quick to prepare, and fresh ingredients usually provide the best experience. Making a new batch each time only takes a few minutes and helps ensure everything stays fresh. As you've probably noticed throughout today's video, none of these recipes are complicated, and I think that's one of their greatest strengths. Simple routines are easier to continue, and the routines we continue are often the ones that make the greatest difference over time. I'd like to leave you with a few simple habits that can support your skin every single day. The masks we've talked about today can certainly become a helpful part of your routine. But healthy-looking skin isn't created by one product or one recipe alone. It's the result of small, consistent choices that work together over time. Let's begin with one of the simplest: hydration. As we get older, many of us don't feel thirsty as often as we used to. That doesn't necessarily mean our bodies need less water. Our skin depends on proper hydration to help it feel comfortable and maintain its natural appearance. Drinking more water won't erase wrinkles, but staying well hydrated supports your body's normal functions, including healthy skin. A simple habit, like keeping a glass or bottle of water nearby during the day, can make it easier to drink regularly instead of waiting until you feel thirsty. Nutrition also plays an important role. Your skin is constantly renewing itself, and that process depends on good overall nutrition. Try to include enough protein in your meals. along with a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. Foods rich in vitamin C help support your body's normal collagen production, while a balanced diet provides many of the nutrients your skin needs to stay healthy. Another habit I encourage everyone to develop is protecting your skin from the sun. Many of the visible changes we associate with aging are influenced by years of sun exposure. Using a broad spectrum sunscreen, wearing a hat when you're outdoors for longer periods, and seeking shade during the strongest sunlight are simple habits that can help protect your skin over time. Think of it this way: the masks help care for your skin. Sun protection helps preserve the progress you're making. Good sleep is important as well. While we sleep, our bodies carry out many natural repair processes. Getting enough quality rest supports your overall health, and healthy skin is simply one of the many benefits. Now, before you try any of today's recipes, there are a few safety reminders I'd like you to keep in mind. First, always perform a patch test. Apply a small amount of the mask to the inside of your forearm or behind your ear, and wait about 24 hours before using it on your face. If your skin becomes irritated, simply choose a different recipe or speak with a healthcare professional if you have concerns. Second, prepare each mask fresh before you use it. Because these recipes contain milk and fresh ingredients, they're not intended to be stored for several days. Third, resist the temptation to leave the mask on longer than recommended. 10 to 15 minutes is enough. Longer isn't better. Once a mask dries completely, it may leave mature skin feeling tighter instead of more comfortable. I'd also encourage you to be cautious about skincare advice you see online. You may come across videos recommending concentrated lemon juice, vinegar, baking soda, toothpaste, or other harsh ingredients for removing age spots. Those methods can irritate mature skin and may even damage the skin's natural protective barrier. Gentle care is usually the wiser approach. Finally, remember that these homemade masks are designed to support healthy skin. They're not meant to diagnose or treat medical conditions. If you notice a mole or dark spot that changes in size, shape, or color, develops irregular borders, bleeds, or doesn't heal, it's important to have it examined by a qualified healthcare professional or dermatologist. The same is true if you develop a persistent rash, severe irritation, or any skin problem that doesn't improve. Sometimes the best form of self-care is knowing when to seek expert advice. Before we finish, I'd like to share one final story. A woman in her mid-70s once said something that has stayed with me ever since. She smiled and said, "For years, I thought taking care of my skin meant trying to look younger. Now I realize it's really about taking care of the person I've become." I thought those words captured something beautiful, because healthy aging isn't about pretending the years never happened. It's about caring for yourself with the same kindness and respect you've spent a lifetime giving to others. At the same time, there's nothing wrong with wanting your skin to feel comfortable, healthy, and well cared for. Today, we've explored 3 simple milk-based face masks using ingredients that are inexpensive and easy to find in most grocery stores. Each one supports a different skincare goal. The potato mask may help if uneven skin tone is your biggest concern. The cucumber mask is a refreshing choice after time outdoors when your skin feels warm or tired. And the honey mask is ideal for mature skin that often feels dry or tight. We also talked about one optional bonus recipe using green tea powder for those who already have it at home. Remember, you don't need to try everything. Choose one recipe that best matches your skin's needs. Use it consistently. Give your skin time to respond. And most importantly, enjoy the process. If you decide to try one of these recipes, I'd love to hear about your experience. Which mask did you choose? Was it the potato mask, the cucumber mask, the honey mask, or perhaps the bonus green tea recipe? Feel free to share in the comments below. Your experience may encourage someone else who's wondering where to begin. If you found today's video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. I'll look forward to seeing you again in the next video.